And welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Rico No Suave show. I am back. I am back. I am back. I am super ready to get ready with you guys. Hey, you know what, everybody? I'm super happy to be back. Man, being on this talk show, I have to tell you, it's all about you and it's all about us. It's all about having a great time, because having a great time with you guys when you're actually just chatting with me and we're just having a blast. Hey, there's nothing else I can say but thank you guys so much for your support for the Rico No Suave show as we continue to go to that next level. We always continue going to that next level. We're bringing great guests every single week, but with your guys' help, man, you guys are awesome with just showing your support, showing your love, and always keeping it going for us. But we got to get this show on the road, everybody, because you know why? When we talk about something at the very beginning of our show, and we love to make sure there's an awareness that everyone should be able to, hey, we do it with a purpose. So, of course, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, everyone. Mental Health Awareness Month. And being mental health awareness comes to where there's people that have anxiety, people that also is depressed, low self-esteem, but it's also high self-esteem as well, too. And what I mean by that, everyone, is that mental health awareness tends to drive us to sometimes these dark areas. But we need to make sure that we help people that is in those dark areas to basically come to light. One thing that I always say when it comes to mental health awareness for, of course, each month, but when we have an awareness like this, always make sure you consult your doctor. Always, if you have a therapist or a counselor or even a best friend, someone that's really close to you to be able to help you as far as with your mental health awareness as well. Now, of course, I'm talking about certain, areas, but there's always different other areas as well, too, when it comes down to mental health awareness. Everyone, that we should always make sure we check up on our family, our friends, or even some people that we don't know that will need that help. So here at the Rico No Suave show, I'm super happy to always keep you guys aware of what's going on. So thank you guys so much for actually being here. And it's time to introduce this young lady. She's tuning in from LA, everybody. Tuning in from LA. And when I tell you, when she is an actress, she is making things happen. When she's a director, she's making things happen. She's a model. She's making things happen on the runway. At the same time, too, she has multiple talent. I didn't know that I know that there's bilingual. Now there's trilingual, and she's trilingual as well too. I want you guys to put your hands together because hey, her name is super cool as well too. Here on the Rico No Suave show, put your hands together for none other than the awesome and the talented Chhaya Nene. Let's go. Yeah. Hi Chhaya.
Hi, Rico.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too. Welcome to my show. Welcome to my
Yes,
show. I'm super happy to actually have you here. And man, I just can't wait to get this interview going. And it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a
yeah,
fun one because I go back and forth when I'm in LA. I love the love that you guys give. Us people from Chicago the love. So I really, really appreciate you being here on the show. So the first thing is that I want to start off with because you're very talented and you meet a lot of people and there's a lot of people within your journey. Is there any shout outs that you like to give to anyone out there?
yes. First of all, my family always and my friends, they are my rocks, my cornerstone, and they tune in. They're tuning in right now to watch this, which is very sweet. So thank you all for doing
Yeah,
that to support my day ones. Everyone knows who they are, and so to all of you and to my people who through work and have been supportive there. Everyone knows who you are, and you know who I'm talking to right now. So, to all of you, I see you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this and the support. It wouldn't happen without them. And to my agents who have just been here and supported this and my
big shout
film,
out
the
to
whole
the
team. I
agents.
love them.
Yes. That's awesome. All right, let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Yeah,
All right. So, everything starts somewhere when it comes to the beginning. So, let's get it on. So, let's talk about how long you have been an actress and how did you start in that industry of being an actor?
I've known since I was a teenager that I wanted to act, and I was just going to find a way to do it. So I wanted to do it in school. My parents were like, "No, get something else that you can fall back on," which I think now is one of the best decisions that they ever could have told me to make. So I was 13 in New York on a modeling trip, and I was like, "I'm going to make it to LA, and one day I will act." That's the thing. So I got my degree actually in investigative journalism, my
Mm,
master's at USC. And then that day I got the degree, I was like, well, now I'm going to act. And so,
nice.
yeah, I found a way to combine the two because I think there's an intersection between reporting and acting. And that day that I graduated, I just started like doing extra work and really learning about a set because I just didn't know at all what sets were like. I knew what the journalism field was. And I knew that I wanted to focus on social justice and storytelling. And I thought, if you can be an actor and get the notoriety that they do, you can use that awareness to push it back on some of these other issues, kind of like homelessness, for example, is just one
Sure.
um, that matter to you. And that it deserves notoriety, but I feel like if you have your influence in your platform, you can affect change. And I think we have a responsibility to make life better for one another.
I
So
like
that's kind
that.
of how I got started. Is I just started doing stories that combined a celebrity with a journalist, and then I started talking to them about their approach. I started getting on sets, and honestly, I will tell you this, and it's such a humbling experience at the same time of being great. Of that, within 6 months, I had booked my first within the same month, my first national commercial, my first network television show, and my first movie, and I was like, "Dang,
Let's
this is
go.
great."
Wow.
Yeah, it was really great. I was like, this is how the industry works. And it doesn't, by the way. But I was like, this is easy. I don't like, man. And you get humbled really quick after that. But at the same time, it was like, it took me 6 months from starting of extra work to that, which I was like, this is pretty incredible to have this experience. And from there, it just grew in different ways.
Do you think because you was blessed so early with being able to do something as far as with the connections between a celebrity
Yeah.
and being a journalist and understanding the sets itself, do you think that opened doors to you very quickly where it could have been overwhelming?
I think so in some ways that like I tend to be a little bit more fearless.
Okay.
I want to say that with like I tend to just jump and then like I might fall a lot, which I do. And I kind of learned that way.
Uh-huh.
So that's like something where I feel like I just asked, and I feel like I've been doing that my whole life of like pushing a little bit of the envelope if you don't ask for yourself and advocate for yourself, no one has done that. And I think that's a lesson that I've learned through the other things of even how I got an agent for those films and all of that. It's like I asked a
Sure.
friend who was on set with me, like, hey, can I just jump on? Like, can I talk to your agent? And they were like, yeah, sure. Like, please. They recommended me. And I feel like if you don't ask and advocate for yourself, no one's coming to save you but you. So I feel like that attitude of learning early and the success early
Yeah.
on in the career kind of gave me a little bit of courage to just be like, I don't have anything to lose, by asking. The worst they can say is no. And if they say no, fine. It's a no for now. I'll find a different avenue.
Yeah, we kind of talked about a little bit of being fearless when you were at a younger age, and I'm not going to bring that out because I don't want to get beat up myself. And when when it came to you not being fearless at even at a younger age, were there certain actors that you were really influenced or looked up to in order to say, "Hey, I'm super motivated. I can be in front of thousands of people, and I'm still Chhaya Nene." You know what I mean? So, was there any people that you actually, or actors or celebrities that you looked up to, that made you say, "Hey, I'm super motivated to be able to let's go, let's get it on."
Yeah, I think for me, I don't. I know this man for a fact does not want to be called a celebrity, but I
Okay.
loved the movie Hotel Rwanda, and it was inspired by Paul Rusesabagina. And I will
Okay.
never like. He wrote such a beautiful book. I believe it's called An Ordinary Man.
Wow.
And that book has stayed with me. And so like I geek out over like true stories. Like biopics are one of my favorite things. And I think each of the people whose biopics I've seen and his stands out of my mind of like he did the right thing when it needed to be done. And I feel like those he stands out in my mind as someone that wrote this book, the story got made off of his experience. And I think that the people I look up to are the people who are out there living their lives, doing the work, who don't necessarily get the spotlight, but they're incredible. And I'm right now
Yeah.
working on something about the female freedom fighters of India, which no one knows about. But
Oh,
those
wow.
women fought with babies on their back. And it's like they were incredible. And I think that's I don't know. I find storytelling fascinating. I think each one of us has an amazing story. And so I don't know if there's necessarily one person, but I think each person is so interesting and has had such a cool journey on this planet. And I find talking to them is what gives me inspiration to model and to learn from.
One of the things about when growing up, you do see lessons that's being learned from either your parents or
Mhm.
from family and friends, of lessons of when I fall, why am I falling? How do I get back up? How do I not continue to be depressed when I'm falling, thinking that everything is on the right track to try to just continue to make it right, to be able to succeed? When you're acting, there is scripts, there's other people that you have to work with, there's producers, there's things that you have to be able to stay organized in order for you to be able to maintain your stability in life. How was it coming up as an actress to be able to say, I am going to run into people that can be either truthful or fake, or I can actually run into people that actually, besides my agent, of course, how were you able to weed through and know that, hey, I'm able to maintain and have a stability, even if I do get knocked down? How was that path for you coming up?
I think it's a I think it's a great question in terms of self-reflection. Like I will speak as someone who's a perfectionist and I've learned a lot of navigating that for me it used to have to be like all or nothing, right? Or like 100% has to be given. It has to be perfect. I can't not do it perfectly. And I
Sure.
think that was interesting in terms of like rejections from agents or people who might have let you down or
Yeah.
producers or stuff because it was like I failed, and I think that used to hurt me a lot. Like I'll be honest, I've shared this before, and so I'm comfortable with that. Of like when I used to have auditions, and if I didn't book it, even though I had a callback, even though I was on hold, I would cry very early on because I was like I have failed. But then you kind of grow and you start realizing that it sometimes just has nothing to do with you. And I think about that with people along the way too. They're going through their own mess, and that has
Right.
nothing to do with you. I realize that somebody's word means a lot to me. So if you give me your word, or if I give you my word, I mean it. If I say I'm going to show up, I will be there for you.
Yes.
And if I find there's a pattern, someone who's not able to do that, I still want you to do well. I just don't want it to be with me.
Right.
Like you can sit at your own table and succeed, and I will cheer you on. I just want my own table of peace. And I think that that peace has really guided me. And also talking out, like I'm not perfect. I talk to my parents, I talk to my friends, and sometimes I'm like, I don't
Of
understand
course.
why it can't be this way. And they remind me that it's my way of doing things and that's not everybody's way. So some of
Right.
the disappointments, and like I've been in situations where people have talked to me all kinds of ways are crazy, and there's the the inner wrestler of me that's just like, let's go right now. And then there's the side, the outside that's like, okay, thank you so much. Like kind of like,
I was hoping you weren't gonna bring that super, the super word out. The wrestler in you. The one thing about you, Chaya, that I've learned, even with meeting you in person as well too. And thank you everybody for chiming in. There's a lot. There's one big fan of yours that's there that I will have to give a big shout out to. But knowing how you talk about self reflection, also being able to look at yourself in the mirror and see where we all have flaws, right? But also being able to see similar flaws in other people also helps you to be able to say, I know what you're going through, but I'm not going to take myself through that, right? Because I have overcame that situation or that type of attitude towards where I'm going in life. I like the situation that you talked about where you move to a different table. Not everybody can sit at the same table as Chaya and Rico No Suave, but what happens is that when you actually are sitting at a different table, you're sitting at people that have kind of the mindset of what Chaya has and also what Rico No Suave show has. But I think for you, Chaya, you actually are multi-talented where you're going to meet different type of people in different industries with different personalities to be able to make that happen. I really like that analogy that a lot of people should basically take that, but be real. Promise. If you're going to promise something, make sure you do it. I, Hands down. I like that. Or if you don't and you mess around with the wrestler that's inside of Chaya Nene, you might wind up in a general hospital. Let's get to that next part. Let's get to the next part. Let's General Hospital. Let's talk about that because General Hospital has been around for quite some time. And when we talk about General Hospital, my mom watched General Hospital. She's 86, bless my mom. And my sisters watched General Hospital. Knowing that you're on an iconic soap opera, when you first got this part, take us through the process of how you got, a part with General Hospital.
I had been auditioning for the show for a little bit. Like I had so many different parts, and I put in the work. And this is something where I do think my perfectionism helps me. When I get a script, I am the investigative side. I investigate the hell out of the show, and I really do check about like everything. And so I asked friends like, "What is it like for a soap opera? Does my
Yeah.
acting have to change?" And that answer to that, by the way, is no. If you audition for a soap, please keep it grounded. They have multiple cameras. And I had just been putting in audition after audition. And then one day I got an email saying, hey, we're offering you the role. And like that was the first time that has ever happened to me in my career. And it was a career high and very exciting. I'm like,
Right.
yes, the work, the seeds you sow show up. And this was proof of like, you've been doing the work. And casting,
Yeah.
I love Mark, I love Lisa. Thank you both very much for seeing it in me. And it was just like, I got it. And I remember crying with joy because it's like, yes, the work that you do somewhere is like seen. And also to your point, it's iconic, right? So many people have seen the show. So many people have been on the show.
Yeah.
And this was something I was really, really excited for. And just the day of getting to the studio, I will tell you, soaps move very quickly. You get one rehearsal and you get a take, and maybe a second one if there's an emergency. So it's like you need to be prepared, you need to be grounded. You show up, you do your job, you keep it moving. And
Oh
it
wow.
was just like amazing to play also a different character than I usually play. I usually play like these doctors and CEOs and lawyers, and I got to be like a nanny, like Melanie. That's my name of the show.
Okay.
And that was fun because I have a softer side of me, and to explore that and have them see that as well, I thought that was really neat. And so being on General Hospital is a huge thing of like, yeah, I've been on a show that's been around, before my parents, or like
Let's
even just
go.
after my parents. It's like just around them. So that was so cool. Like, honestly, I'm so
Yeah.
grateful.
When was that? When was your first episode?
Oh, I don't remember
What
the
year?
exact.
What year?
Um, like two
What year?
years ago.
2 years
So
ago?
like
Okay.
2 years ago, and the thing about that show too is that characters come back. So you can die 10 times and you'll come back to the house to win. So guess what? My character did not die, which is a great thing for an actor because that means there's room for
That's
you to come back.
good.
You know. Um, and the thing is, I have it on my phone. I have it on my Facebook. My one of my best friend's moms, she watched it, and so it's like that kind of stuff is so cool. It's like your friends' parents are watching you and watching their soaps and tagging it, and it's like we
Yeah.
know like that's my community. It's I don't know. It's very cool.
Oh my goodness. So congratulations, congratulations in regards to that General Hospital, and the one thing that I always like to, you know, see what's in the heart of Chaya when it comes to her seeing herself on the screen for the first time on General Hospital. Now, if I'm not mistaken, did you say that you were with your parents when you saw it, or were you?
Yeah. I was here, but the cool thing kind of like
Okay,
this is my parents and like everybody tunes in. It's so sweet. Like I tell them the time, everybody records. Like
that's
when I was doing
awesome.
extra work, there was a film called Downsizing with Matt Damon, and I had done extra work in it. And we'd gone to
Okay,
see, I think it's South Carolina. And like you see me for maybe 5 seconds, but my parents know who I am. I know I am, obviously. And I pointed it out, and like we all screamed in the theater and stood up. And parents were like, "We're gonna buy the DVD." And it was like so sweet and cool. And like my brothers were there, and like we were all jumping up and down, like that's me. And like the theater sweetly clapped for me as well. Like
that's
it's just
beautiful.
that kind of stuff is like my parents watch and we stay on the phone sometimes and then they record and they take a ton of pictures and like all of that is very sweet. My friends do the same thing, like commercials. They'll do that. I saw myself for the first time in a commercial on a plane and I was like losing my mind. And like the person
Let's
next to me was like, okay,
go.
nice. But I was like, no, you don't understand. That is me. like,
Hey,
there's
did
a
you,
joy.
hey, if that was me, and if that was me, knowing you, how cheery and loving it is for you to be able to know that you're on there. Did you? Yeah, I would have looked around to see if anybody else saw
I know.
it
So did
on
you
a plane.
that is my face on your screen. You are welcome. Actually, let's just tune your channel to the right one so y'all can see me. It's going to come up in the next commercial break. I was like, I will. I was so excited. The thing is, people don't realize like you have to be excited for everything that you do. And sometimes it's not easy to do the jobs that we do to get selected. And I think like when you have 3,000 submissions, 10,000 submissions, and they
Yeah.
choose one out of the 10,000, the odds sometimes are astronomical. And so when you're
Wow.
like, look, I made it, like
Let's
that is a big
go.
deal. You should know. like I'm very excited and I love the work. Like I
Let's go.
genuinely love what I do. And so for me, when you do see yourself on the screen, yeah, that part is really cool. But it's like they paid me to do something I love. I can't believe that. Like, what? That's crazy.
I love it, man. I am super proud of you. I am super happy to know as far as you, Chaya, because you're taking you're taking what people are going through right now and showing them you have to stay consistent. You
Yeah.
have to be able to stay consistent, but you also have to be unique as well too. And then you can, if you get on General Hospital, you can die 10 times and still come back to life like resurrection. And that's awesome, man. That just gives hope to everybody. I like that. That's hot. I like that. I like that. So, with being an actress,
Mhm.
you know, what are some of the things or obstacles that you kind of went through that you overcame, as trying to stay as consistent as possible? But I have one other thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was one thing that I did want to talk because while you were talking, being an actress or just being an actor, you play different roles.
Mhm.
How was it for you to be able to shift your personalities to be able to become that actor, knowing that you have to play someone of different personalities?
I think that's a great question. Last year, I'm gonna toss it back. I decided during, we had strikes, we've had the pandemic, we've had stuff that didn't allow us to work necessarily because we were striking for something greater, which is great. We were allowed to do like our own kind of short films like after the strikes and trying to figure out where do we live, right? Especially in the world. So I did 7 shorts last year
Okay.
of different characters. And I wanted people to see that, to your point of like, how do you transform? So, yes, I have the doctor, I have a horror film, I have the girlfriend, I have all these different things. And I think what we all think about is we're all multifaceted. We all have these characteristics within us. So I have a soft side that I go into for when I'm the girlfriend and the quieter side. And when I need to get business done, then yes, you're going to see me as the lawyer and the detective. And I feel like playing with those different parts of my personality
Yeah.
is so fun to just lean into that. And just, I do something before an audition that I do the takes the way that like it's written. And then I have a take, I call it the epic take. I take a deep breath and I get chills right before that take. And I'm like, I'm just here to play. So, however, it comes out of my body in this world with respect to this lens. And almost always that's the take that I send in because it's the magic when we lean into that part of ourselves. So, I feel like I do a lot of research. I watch people. I like to see where they're at in different situations and learn. And like, if there's a difficult situation that I've been going through, I like to think of it as research for a role. That also helps me get through one, the situation, and two, I feel like I'm learning. So if it's like, I don't know, if I, for taxes, for example, like no one likes to pay them, we do it anyway.
Right.
But let's think about a movie where like you're in a clerical role, you'll know exactly what to do. So I like to think of like things, either it's mundane or difficult or heartbreaking that teach us lessons. And that is something where I learn to play in these different worlds.
I like that. I like that. I like that. And it does take a lot of practice as well too. I like to try to impersonate people, is that yeah. I like to try to make it sound like I can talk like somebody else. It's like, oh man, you sound like Lil John. I'm like, for real? I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, okay. I try to do that, and I'm like, okay, this might be good if I'm at a party, you know. It
Yeah,
might just come out of
you never know. I mean, like, look at UCB, look at all the comedy schools, right?
yeah.
Those things that we play and practice with and we find silly, what you find like ridiculous, what someone would be like, that's dumb. Somebody's making money off it on YouTube, so you might as well be you.
Let's go.
Like,
Let's go.
lean into your uniqueness or your weirdness because that's what sets you apart. Like, whatever your essence is, that's what makes you different than everyone else on this planet. So, hey, I don't care if you have one view. It's you're not doing it for the views, you're doing it for you. Like,
Yes.
and the views come when you're enjoying yourself. So
I
go have
love
fun.
it.
Be weird. Who cares?
I love it. Hey, no one else is watching except you and the people that loves you. I love that. I love that piece. Before we take a quick commercial break, because we're at the halfway mark already. Chaya, we're having fun already. We're having a great time. Are you having a good time?
I love it. I'm having so much fun. Like I'm just, it's fun to have an interview like this when you're comfortable with the host and you're doing a great job of guiding it and navigating it. And the people who are watching, like I appreciate that. That I wouldn't be here without any of that. So thank you.
Thank you. But we got to talk about Curta pants.
Yes. Listen, I
So
came ready. You know I
yeah,
stay
let's go.
prepared.
Let's go. We gonna splash it on the screen too, cause this right here.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I like that. So tell us a little bit about that before we take this commercial break.
Okay. I had auditioned for an anthology series, I would say in 2021, and we got to working on it. We all got along, and I helped produce a podcast that we talked about, like civil talk, about issues that were happening in the South Asian diaspora. We had lots of guests on, and there was room in the budget for one more episode. So we got to talking, and I asked if I could write something. Um, Everything had been a drama, so I wanted to do a comedy, and I wanted to tackle anti-blackness in South Asian culture post George Floyd, but I wanted to do it through comedy because I feel like we can bring people in instead of pushing them out with comedy and being people can feel okay to talk about it. So I wrote it, I advocated to direct it, I directed it, I also produced, I cast
Nice.
it, and I've done all the marketing. As you can see,
Yes. Yes.
I made the
Yes.
shoot
Love it.
myself, and
Love it.
yeah, it's been an amazing journey with this film and doing something that I love. I wrote this 5 minute bit that has now taken me to 22 festivals, 7 countries, I believe, and 11 awards, including one. We won an Oscar qualifier. So you have to do it.
Wow.
You have to create your own work. It's been incredible. Like, I'm so happy and proud of this piece, and everyone's asked for it to be a feature, but we'll talk more about that. Like,
Yeah.
I really like for it to be a standalone piece and for you to decide what happens at the end. I think that's the most power we have as an audience, is to decide what happens. Each of you gets a choice in this ending.
Wow. You the
Yeah.
bomb. You the bomb, Chhaya. You the bomb, Chhaya Nene. Hey, that's all I gotta say. Hey, I love first of all, I love the paraphernalia, right? I love the advertisement, but I also love the poster. I think it reflects in regards to you two, Andrew, as well as you, right? How you both are connected within this film itself. And I have to say congratulations, man. Congratulations to you. How long is this short film?
It's 5 minutes, and I'll tell you
Okay.
the poster that you saw. My mom actually made this poster for me while I was traveling, so like that
Oh,
is even
mama.
yes, she made it. My friend Sterling helped me make the shirts, like made the screen. Like everyone has come together. That's the thing about this film is everybody came together to make it happen. My parents are in the actual film. My grandmother's in the film. My brother, assistant director, the other one produced. Like
Oh,
this entire thing was done with so much love, and the idea of these pants being one size fits all, but we aren't is the whole point. Like these are
yes.
each one of us are multifaceted, even within our cultures. Like we do not have the same story. We are not monoliths. And the whole
Yeah.
point is to start a conversation with our families about this, you know? And I think it's done in a way, there's a nice twist that has resonated with audiences. And somebody compared it to Bend It Like Beckham in terms of like the feel of the film. And I was like, what a compliment. Like I love that movie.
Yeah.
Like a lot because we don't have films like this anymore. It's a sweet rom-com that's written with nuance and everything you see in the film, like even the gifts or hair ties, they're stuff from my best friends. Like the house is lovingly donated by one of my friends, Sally, who I do Zumba with. My friend Kathleen donated the film. Like everybody, food was donated. It was just this whole film has been love, and like it wouldn't have happened without people letting me stay at their places for the festivals either. Like I can't thank people enough for their generosity and kindness that went into this film. And
Yeah.
still, like people keep coming to see it. It's like, man, that's love.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. We at the 30-minute mark, everyone. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. When we come back, we're going to give some shout outs to everybody that's actually tuning in and cheering you on. But we're going to have a commercial break, but then we're going to actually go right into showing you a little bit more in regards to Chhaya Nene Real, right? So we're going to show you that as well, too. So we get right into it. Make sure you guys enjoy. We'll be back. Close to 2 minutes. We'll see you back.
Think we found Camille Perez.
The missing assistant.
Camille.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Let me guess. Her insurance policy.
She's gonna corroborate my story. Take Redmond down together.
We can. We will. I'm in love, so if you don't want him...
Tina, it's Peter Ruskin.
I mean, I don't want him to see me this way.
Would you like me to tell him something for you?
Just that I need time.
Okay. More from me?
You sure?
Then he undid my hair,
What?
complimented me on the sheen, suggested I wear it down more often. Framed my face, he said.
Surely. He never told us that.
Would you
But I would.
admit that you violated a person's human rights?
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Yes. Yes, welcome back. Chhaya, Nene, hey, you are definitely someone special that everybody, you touch everyone as far as with your acting, but also when we're going to talk about your directing in this film itself. One of the things that I have to say is because you are able to play different roles and also being able to touch people in different ways when it comes to you being, a police officer or a doctor, right? Or whatever way that you're connecting with people, that is awesome. I congratulate you on that for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I gotta give I gotta give one of I think she's your biggest fan that's live with us right now. Um, you know, and it's Chanthan Cooks.
Chandan is my brother. He's amazing. My other brother's like keeping it quiet nicely back there. So he's here
Okay.
too. But Chandan is my brother, and they're in Virginia. So
What's up, bro? Hey, man, thank you so much. Hey, much love. Thank you so much for showing the love. He is actually one of the biggest fans right now, and everybody else is actually tuning in. I gotta give big shout out. He is saying he is so proud of you, and I feel it. I feel it as well too, and we're all proud of you as well too. We got Nima,
that's
Nene.
my mom Nima, and I think my grandma Asha's on there too. So my family's there. Like I said,
Hi,
they're
mom.
watching it.
Hi, Mom. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh my God. Thank you. We appreciate you because without you, Mama and Papa, she wouldn't be here to be on this show. But thank you so much, man. Super proud. She says
No,
she loves the show. Thank you so much.
that's
Thank
so
you.
sweet. They're holding it down. My dad is always on too as well. He's in the background. I know working at home, so they're holding it down for me, which I appreciate a
That's
lot.
awesome. That's awesome. Let's go. We have John T for free checking in. What's up, John T for free? Thank you so much for checking in. Donna Marie Bird is checking in as well too. Thank you so much, Donna Marie Bird, for checking in. She did say that. Let me read her quote. Let me read the quote. She said, "This is incredibly inspiring." This is Donna Marie Bird. And I totally agree that we need more movies like Bend It Like Beckham. Do you have a film in mind that you like to see made or play a role in? Good
Yeah, I
question.
mean, I like the film Blood Diamond a lot, and to the wrestling point, I am writing my feature about being the first and only female wrestler on the boys team in
Oh,
Virginia growing
wow.
up, and having going through that experience. I mean, there were no females, and so I opened that door, and it wasn't because I wanted to. It was just like we should have equal rights to do whatever. Um, and that was really cool to be on the team and have that camaraderie. And then the next couple of years, girls started joining the team. And my librarian at one point told me that her daughter started on the team and they think about me. And I was like blown away. I get like teary every time I think about it because it's like
Oh,
that is something that I'm really excited about from a cultural standpoint, seeing that on screen. And wrestling, I have to hand it to Americana's film Bungle. That's about wrestling, and that's pretty cool, but I haven't seen it on the US side yet. So that's a feature that I am writing, and I like including my family in the projects because our family is very special, and it's a different experience. The one I was talking about not being a monolith, we've had kind of a cool ride where now we're co-writing with each other and doing that. And so I want to
nice.
include them along with friends and coaches along the way because they are the real deal. They've had the experiences with me. And yeah, that is the feature that I'm writing. And I loved Bennett Lake Beckham because of the family element. I know that they're actors, but I do feel like that style of storytelling and family and nuance and being with somebody, it just you get to know a lot more about them.
Hey, Cooks, your sister is a wrestler. And she might do some things. Hey, I heard something in behind the scenes. We won't talk about that here, but hey, I've seen a video. Your sister's strong. Thank God for social media, right? Hey, I'm just telling the family right now. When we get bigger, one day I have to play her security guard. She's gonna have to be my security guard as well, too, man. Cause hey, learning different defense mechanisms. Hey, Chhaya, I got to learn, man. I have to learn.
It's fun. I recommend everybody get on that mat. It is one of the best experiences. I was telling you behind the scenes, I have some like bruises I covered up today, but like you don't even feel it. It's fine. I was like, oh, I got an interview. We should just pull this little down. But you know what? It looks good. Like battle scars.
One of the things that you talked about was family. You talk about family a lot, which I really love. And I think family is everything. Not a lot of people do have family that actually sticks together to be able to help one or two or three people in their family to succeed, and you have different personalities within families, right? And then you have some that may have a different personality, but understand your journey and your path. The one thing that I love about what you're talking about is we have family-owned restaurants, right? We have family-owned maybe people that's making T-shirts. We got family-owned different other area finance companies. But for me, this is just me, I haven't heard of a family-owned film. Now, I heard some family members that's actually playing brother and sister or sister and sister in the same film, but a family-driven film that actually makes it even better to be able to work together in. And that's very unique. I have to say it's very unique, and you don't see that very often. And I think that's why you as a person are going to really succeed in that area. So I congratulate you and your family on that, for sure.
Thank you. We love, it's the cool thing is I think that's something that, when you're a kid sometimes or a teenager, you're like, I don't want my family to go to everything. And then you grow up a little bit and you're like, it's actually really cool to have this support system to go through things. And we take active interest. Like it may not be our favorite things, but we do take an active interest in each other's lives and try and create. And it's funny because we've now become a filmmaking family. Like my parents and my grandmother, they have their own storytellers club that they make movies in. They've been in multiple movies. And, my brother is written and going to be directing his own piece. And so is my other brother. And like, we find the roles that fit for us. You don't have to be good at everything. You just find your niche amongst that. And like my family and I are co-writing books together at this point. So it's just like, you have the people there. And I want to add to my family that I'm born into. I've also created a family of friends. And I feel like that has been another type of family where we do things together. I was on the red carpet covering a film festival yesterday, and my friend came, no questions asked, helped me run camera and do it. Not like, oh, I'll buy you dinner. It was just that is like friendship, and that is love, and that is caring. And I feel like having those friendships really help you navigate this life. The friends who show up for you no matter what and like come and you don't have to ask questions. They're just there for you because they love you. And I feel like that has been something that has been really cool. Like all the people who came for my film in my hometown, my teachers drove an hour. My high school friends came just to come see the film. And it's like, that is love. That are like, they came even from out of town an hour. Like, that's just crazy on like metros and trains and buses. Like they are going to make it to come see it and support family, friends who've seen you since I was a child. And like, you can't buy that kind of love. And I feel like when you have that in your films, you see the relationship. It's a lot easier. You mentioned Andrew. Andrew and I had been working together for a long time on different films. And so, or this one film, but our podcast rather. And so we've had a camaraderie, we've had a friendship that's built over time. And you see that chemistry between us because we're very comfortable with each other on screen. And people have asked about that. And it's like, it is fun like that. We do joke like that. And, we still had to be like, this is going to be a different lens because we're playing a rom-com, we're playing partners. And I know my mom's watching, so she's going to probably laugh at this part. But there's a kissing scene that, he and I rehearsed in my bathroom, but doing that on set with your parents is a little bit different, right? And she was like, oh, a lot of kissing. And I'm like, let's, it's like, those are the fun things of making films with your family where you're like, okay, but I have to direct and I have to like put on my hat there to be like, okay, great. You'll be called to set in a minute. Let me just get the shot. And, it's really funny to do that. Those are some of the things that come up when you're working with family of like, my parents are very cool. They're very supportive. So it wasn't like that, but it is weird to kiss someone in front of your parents on screen.
Right.
It's interesting. It's an interesting space.
It is kind of weird because, you were raised by your parents, and the one thing that we do have is respect for our parents.
Yes.
But then, of course, the respect is still in our blood system. even though they know that we are an actor or we have to do a job, it's just to the fact that, oh my God, my mom and my dad is there. I'm like, what do
You're
I do? You know?
like, and my brother too. Like, that was very strange. I'm like generally a private person when it comes to that part of my life in
Yeah.
general. So like, but on screen, I was like, gotta get over it, gotta act it out, and just like do it. And so they're fun little laughing moments. The great thing was that day was so much fun. Everyone was like laughing, having a great time. So that just like went really well.
Yeah, if I did that in front of my mom and my and my dad with he's here, rest in peace. But and my brother and sister, I would just have to walk past them and get in the side and say, "Don't say nothing. I gotta go." All right, so we down to one more minute before see how time fly by fast when we having fun.
Live.
It goes by fast. But I do got to give a big shout out. Got to give a big shout out. Oh, Nima, your mom says, "Ha ha ha, no worries." I love it. I love it. Oh, we do got Sharish, Nene.
That's my dad. That's my dad.
Hey, Papa. How are you, Papa? Thank you so much for. He said, "True that. Not every member of your family is born under the same roof." I understand. Coming from Papa like that, hey, that's understandable, and it's good that he knows that as well. So everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Rico No Suave show. We got to take another quick commercial break. Everybody, we're going to be back hopefully 30 to 45 seconds, so don't miss us too much because we love you and hopefully you love us. All right, everybody, we'll be back right after these commercial breaks. Thank you.
Every year, 800,000 children are reported missing. That's one child every 40 seconds. It's every parent's worst nightmare. Right now, there are 483 missing children cases still open. Your card donation can help keep kids safe and bring missing kids home. Donate your unwanted card today. Fast, free pickup, 24-hour response. Plus, you'll get the maximum tax deduction.
Call 800-723-2013.
Feeling sluggish? Struggling with stubborn weight and visceral fat? It's time to reset with Fupa Water. Packed with powerhouse ingredients like spirulina, turmeric, and aloe vera, Fupa Water is your daily detox and hydration boost all in one. Flush out toxins, energize your body, and say goodbye to that stubborn belly fat. Ready to feel lighter and stronger? Get yours today at fupawater.com. And for a limited time, use code RNSS for the Rico No Suave show and get an additional 10% off on your first order.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's your boy Rico No Suave here with my girl. She is an actress. She is a director. And then she's also a model, which we're going to talk about next. But thank you guys so much for actually tuning in as well, too. And, of course, you saw fupawater.com. Yes, we are. That is a sponsor for the Rico No Suave show. If you use the code fupawater.com, RNSS for Rico No Suave show, make sure you go ahead and use that code as well, too. But let's get back because, time is flying by fast when we're having fun. Chhaya, I'm having fun.
I'm having so much fun. I'm love this.
A good time. We got to have a part 2, right? It's going to be a part 2. Yeah, it's going to be a part 2. All right, let's talk about the modeling, right? Yes. Because your mom, the parents made a beautiful daughter. Oh gosh, so now there's stuff on the runway. There's fashion shows. There's that model piece. Talk to me if you've done those, right? Of course, where did the modeling piece come into this?
I was 13 and a family friend had started a magazine in Chicago, and so I started modeling Indian traditional wear there, and then I had a modeling trip, and as I moved throughout different pieces, people would ask me to do either shows for them or be a model for a lighting equipment, and so that was interesting of doing like videos in that way. And I have done shows, gone on different pieces for charities. Well, again, I know this is redundant, but I really like social justice. So a lot of those two are some of my favorite pieces that I've done.
Sure.
And I've also come up with my own ideas for shoots and modeling and nods to, I do this every Halloween where I try and dress up as an Indian female freedom fighter or a strong female character so that we get to know more about them. So this year I wanted to be somebody who's very well known to us in our community. And so I created a shoot for that and some of the modeling. And I think also an idea, Rico, is that if they don't see you, make them see you and make them see you through many different lenses. So I'm creating different projects, even with the modeling, so that I can be seen how I want to be seen. And I feel like there's also a space for women. The plus size market is amazing. They do a great job. So is like super
Nice.
skinny models. And
Nice.
then there's people who are in the middle of the road, and that's okay. Your body is beautiful. And I think that there's something to be remembered that every body should be allowed to model and go out there and be seen, because our bodies are so unique and they carry us through this life. And this is our canvas. And so the
Yeah.
modeling aspect through that has been really cool. Um, and I'm happy to do shows. And I've done print modeling as well for different banks and organizations. And it's like, that's just been really fun.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Age 13, you said?
Hmm.
Let's go.
You
Let's
just,
go.
I went for a run earlier and I have these shorts that say like actor on the butt. And I literally got that from the modeling talent convention. And I still have them to this day because I'm like, that is what I wanted to do. And I'm out here doing it. So those shorts, even though like the elastic is long gone, they will never
Uh-huh.
die. I will staple them together. But those are, like you say,
Did you say actor on the butt?
it says actor on the butt. It says act. It's super faded. Those shorts. I used to weigh a lot more, so it's like kind of massive. So I just tie a rubber band, which bothers my friends. They're like, "Please," I'm like, "I don't know how to sew. I can do a lot of things. I can sew, but it's gonna look crazy." So I have these shorts that are just like hanging on by a thread. Elastic's gone, but it says actor, and I got it. And I knew I was gonna be an actor, so I will not let it go. And I got it at the modeling convention. I'm like, "Nope, I will have the shorts
L-
forever."
Let's go. Let's go. So I'm gonna take it to a different level because we kind of talked about awareness of mental health awareness, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking about social justice, and we're talking about things that matters, there's things with purpose. But you
Yeah.
also, with modeling, you're coming out as a character of everyday living, of
Yes.
things that people need to be aware of, that where social justice have a lot to do with the mentality of what people need to be aware of,
Yes.
and what people are fighting against. If you had a name for a fashion show in regards to, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot here because,
Yeah.
Rico No Suave, might want to be that MC. But if you have that runway or that fashion show with that justice behind it, what would you call it?
The first word that comes to mind is Shakti, and Shakti means strength.
Mm-hmm.
It's also something that we have Shiva Shakti, we have male and masculine and feminine energy within all of us. And I kind of like the idea of Shiva Shakti, and it can include both people to have that energy in there. And I think the strength is what you bring to it. So each person can have that. And I think it makes me think of, when I think of that, it's tangentially, we used to have, my parents had Diwali parties for us as kids, and everybody in the community, no matter what your background was, ethnicity, came and they had themed this costumes. People came as gods and goddesses. And I feel like that is so effing cool to like have that experience. And on a runway, I'd love to see people bring their inner
Yeah.
gods and goddesses out there and bring your Shiva Shakti energy to the runway and have those conversations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Strength.
Yep.
That's a yeah. That's a big word. Strength, because
Yeah.
strength comes into play of when you're talking about people that may have trauma,
Mm-hmm.
people that may have been depressed,
Yeah.
people that is continuously positive, right? Through things that they may going through as far as with their families, with their friends, with their jobs, with their relationships, but if they have that strength as far as being that warrior in this world to be able to move forward. I really like that. I really like that piece. So
Yeah. I think to your point about mental health, like I'm the first one and I advocate for this all the time.
yes.
I have a therapist and I have a South Asian therapist because I think it's important to find someone that knows your way of thinking, your way of life, and your shared experiences. And I think to the South Asian community, we need to go to therapy. It's okay. And it doesn't make you bad. It actually makes you stronger to be able to talk some of these issues out and say, like,
Yeah.
these are the things that I deal with. And like, I'm somebody who is very active and I enjoy it, but I also have the moments of self-doubt like everybody does, and insecurities and questioning. And I feel like things that I've gone through in therapy and talking about it, it helps me reframe it in perspectives. And like talking to the therapist, like when I first started to now, and seeing this journey of like how I handle things, even with anxiety. Like I used to be like, well, anxiety, what? You should be able to handle it. But it's like, no, sometimes it's cool to see how far you've grown through finding your community and your support systems.
Yes.
And I actually think it's made a big difference for me having to deal with incredibly stressful moments in my life, being able to have that mental strength and fortitude to carry through different issues,
Yeah.
and how I choose to respond and move through this life. So I would say, like, if you're on the fence, therapy is one of the best things that I think happened for me to experience, in the way that I also love seeing someone who looks like me and able to talk to me and hear me. That I think is very important. So please, our mental health is so important. And I try and do something physically every day, emotionally, to do that, and spiritually, whether that's meditation or talk to therapists. And I think all three help us move forward through some of our challenges in this life.
I love it. Oh, I love it. You know what else I also love is your mom is commenting and giving us translations of the different words. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to family and people helping other people out to be able to come together. And I'm going to save this as well too, because she's putting out what strength is, and then she has Shakti, which is for female, and Shiv. Is
Yeah,
that how
Shiv
you say
Shakti.
it?
Shiv Shakti. Yeah.
Shiv Shakti. Okay. Shiv is the male. Okay.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. So Shiv for me. I like that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mama. Thank you so much. Last thing before only down for a few minutes of fame around here.
Crazy how
Time
fast
is
it goes.
flying by fast. Time is
Yeah.
flying by fast. Because you're in films, because you became an actress, we know you're a model, and you became that director directing for that first time itself. But we talk about there's that finance piece behind it. What
Yeah.
would you tell someone in order how you accomplished as far as a film on a small budget?
You need to, I think, networking, it's a bad connotation, but I do feel like you know who your network is and the favors that you can and cannot ask. I will say that, like, I saw this film, I shot it at a friend's house in a bathroom. They donated their house for that. So that saved me on locations. I had lunch donated, partially from somebody I've known for 10 years. And actually, I shot them out. Medici in Sherman Oaks. Jesse is one of my favorite people on this planet. Sally gave me her house.
Nice.
And I also had friends and family fundraise, and there are so many names and shout outs. You should check out our Instagram. It has everybody's name and picture and gratitude, high school friends, neighbors, everybody.
That's
So
cool.
they did it. I also think that on the business side of things, I saved up all my airline miles. And I feel like having your airline miles saved up and being able to take flights and staying with people, like festivals, I had a strategy also, and I stayed with friends the whole time. So like my housing was free and my flights were free. So if you
Wow.
do that, like if you think about post film where you're going, you need to think like 10 steps down the line when you're making this film. Like, what is going to save my location? What is going to save my food? People volunteered their time, which is, I wish I had more money to pay every single person. And if I get financed, great. I would love to go back and pay every single person. But people volunteered their time to be there.
Yeah.
And, like my family donated, even though they were already in the film, like that really saved me money. So I would say, like, look at who you know, because you already have a network around you. Even if you think you don't, you have people who are willing to make it happen.
Yep.
And if this is my biggest secret to you guys, the 48-hour film festival challenges, there's a group, cinematography for actors in LA. I believe they can even help you with equipment. In 48 hours, you can have a film made, and that film can go to festivals, and that everyone volunteers their time. So it's free. So like, do these things, have a script ready to go, and then go do the 48-hour film festival. You have a film right there. The only money you need was for festivals. That's going to be really cheap. And then you can just use your airline miles to go places, or ask friends if you can stay with them. That's how I would do it again.
Yeah.
And the rest is nuance. Designers donated their clothing to me. So I got to wear designer clothes on the carpets.
Oh, wow.
And they all donated to me because they believed in the film and believed in me. And so that is something that, yeah, I did this on a huge budget. I also invested a lot of my own savings after festival stuff into the films for the film festivals because I believe in my work and I still believe in my work. Like, it's worth it, and I think people should be seeing it. So I think you
Let's
balance
go.
that.
Oh man, let's go. Let's go. You know, everything you have said is like the instruction book for people to understand the secrets of how to make a short film and also to be able to network. Networking is really big. At first, you know, people look to be discovered, but now to be discovered is being discovered through networking, right?
Yes.
And that's the biggest way of knowing people and also people understanding your vision. I had a vision as well too. And my
Yes.
vision was to be able to give you a gift. And that gift was a shirt.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
oh my
Here
God.
at the Rico No Suave show, we call people like yourself gems of the world. Bright diamonds, you're gemstones. You're multi-talented. You have worked with not just with your parents, but friends and families for them to be able to know your vision, but they understood who you were, but you understood with self-reflection of who you are as a person. You knew exactly what your talent is. It was just you executing your talents and being able to have that talent being shown to the world. Now you're being you're famous across the board when it comes to you actually being in certain cinemas, in certain theaters, people to be able to see your work. People volunteer with you because they know who Chhaya Nene is. They understand what your purpose about social justice is about. You have a mindset of purpose. And I think your family that's behind you understands your purpose with your friends as well too. So what I'm saying to you, and this is from the bottom of my heart, you continue to move forward with that justice because purpose with positivity is going to make you even more successful because people need more people like yourselves in this industry. So with this being said, you are part of the Rico No Suave show
I
family.
love
Let's
it.
go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And everyone, like, it doesn't happen without your work, Rico. Like, having these guests and these conversations, and like, you didn't see the behind the scenes, but the amount of work and attention to detail that Rico puts into his emails and with his guests is incredible. I love
Thank
that
you.
attention to detail, and it takes time. This is not easy for someone to put a show together and achieve where Rico is. So I think that a lot of credit goes to you and the people working behind the scenes at the Rico No Suave show who
Let's
are
go.
helping you
My
get this
crew,
done
my
together.
crew,
Like,
my
all of
producers.
them and everyone who's getting the show together along with sponsors. I'm very, very grateful to be on this side of it. And I've seen what you do as a journalist. So I know that there is a different side of the effort that goes into this, and it does not go unnoticed. So thank you all very much. And thank you to everyone who watched and tuned in and chimed in. And we definitely have to have a part two, so we're not done talking.
I
But
know. There's going to be definitely a part two. Before we get out of here, we got to put up your social media because we want people to know more about you. So make sure, everybody, please make sure you go to www.csnene.com. Make sure you go ahead and check her out there. Make sure you go thoroughly on that website. Make sure you read every single word on there. So make sure you go ahead and support her there. Here is her Instagram. Of course, this is big as well too. That's why I found some behind the scenes. That's why I know that she was strong. So make sure you go to Chhaya Nene. Make sure you put that double H in there, right? Make sure you put that in there and follow her on Instagram. Chhaya Nene, thank you so much for being on the show with me today, and continue success for you. This is not the last time we talk, but
no.
hey, we definitely will have a part two, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Rico. Bye, everyone. Good night. Thanks for watching.
All right, everybody, put your hands together. It's none other than my girl, Chhaya Nene. All right, everybody. See you later, love. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here. It's your boy Rico No Suave. I hope you guys had a great time. Thanks for everybody for participating. If you're watching on TV, thanks for waving, and thanks for just talking to us. And everyone that's out there, continue to be positive. Continue to make sure you understand the vision of what people are going through. Even if they're sad and you understand their vision, help them out. Help them out. Maybe if it's not you, it's someone else that can be able to step into that place to be able to help them as well too. We're going to put up our social media, everyone, our social media itself. And as we start off, the www.riconosuaveshow.com. Make sure you go ahead and check us out. We got highlight reels. Yeah, we got highlight reels in there as well too. So make sure you go and check us out there. Here's the next one. It's Facebook, everybody. Follow us on Rico No Suave Show. Yes, like and love everything we're doing there. Here's the next one. Kaboom. Yes. We got Instagram. Make sure you go to Rico No Suave Show. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on Instagram as well, too. Show that love. And we have another one. Yeah, we do. The one that most of you are probably on right now online, and that is YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this video. Subscribe to our channel. Tell everybody about our show, everyone. We're bringing nothing but great guests just like Chhaya and Nene. Make sure you subscribe. And here's our last one, everyone. Yes, it is mixcloud.com. It does go to audio. So if you're driving and you want to listen to the audio piece, make sure you go to mixcloud.com. Rico No Suave Show. So please make sure you go and support us there. Everybody, thank you guys so much once again for nothing but love on the show for today. And I hope you continue to support us every single week because we're here for you and we love you as well. Everybody, we got to get out of here. Until the next time, I'll see you later as we end off the show just like this.